Now let's create our home section. So we're going to go to our index.html file and simply create a div of class Jumbotron where we're going to place all these featured elements, including the title, the subtitle or goal, and this join us button. Okay, so we're going to place our div there. Okay, so I'm going to give it a class Jumbotron, and also we're going to give it an ID to link it to our links. Okay, so the ID is going to be home. Okay, and then inside the div, we are going to create a container. Okay, or div of class container. I'm going to go for container rather than container fluid so that we don't occupy the full width of the page. And then we're going to create a couple of headings, an H1 and then an H2. So inside the H1, I'm going to copy this title. Okay. And then inside the heading 2, I'm going to copy this subtitle. All right. And finally, we are going to place our button inside a paragraph. Okay. So it's going to be a link that we're going to style as a button using the Bootstrap classes. So we're going to give it a class button, and you can give it an href if you want. Okay, so now let's have a look at our Jumbotron. So that's how it looks like now. Okay, so we'll need to style it so that we get there. Okay, so let's go to our styling sheet and go to the home section. Okay, here it is. So let's access the home section using its ID. Okay, and let's start with the background color. So by default, Jumbotrons, they have this gray background color, but we're going to override that by styling the home elements. So we're going to set the background color property to transparent because we want a transparent background. Okay. Also, we're going to set the text color to a white color using the color property. And we're going to center the text inside the Jumbotron by using the text align property that we're going to set to center. Okay. Let's just go back to the button and place some text inside the link. Join us now. Okay. Okay. Let's just refresh the page. Okay. Now we are going to add some padding top to the Jumbotron. Okay, so that we can get a big gap there between the title and the top border of the website. So we're going to use the padding top property, and this time I'm going to go for a percentage. So when we use the percentage for padding, it's relative to the containing element, in our case the body element. So if we go for 50%, for example, then the padding is going to be half the height of the body. Okay, and if you go for 100%, then we will need to scroll down to see our home section. Okay, so let's keep it at 15% for now, and let's move to the headings. So we'll need to add some margin bottom to both these headings, okay, to get there. So to access the first heading, we're gonna access the home section first using its ID and then H1. So we're gonna use the margin bottom property, and I'm gonna set that to 30 pixels. Okay, so it's increased a little bit. And let's do the same thing for H2. Okay, and this time we are gonna go for 50 pixels to create more gap. Okay, all right, let's move to the button link. So to access the button, we're gonna access the home section, and then we're gonna use the button class. So we'll start by changing the background color of the button to this nice color. So we're going to use the background color property. Okay, and I'm going to use the RGB values to set the color. So I'm going to go for 29, 167, 179. Okay, then let's change the text color using the color property, and let's set that to a white color. Also, let's increase the font size to 20 pixels. And also let's add some padding. So for the top and bottom values, I'm going to go for 8 pixels, and for the left and right sides, I'm going to go for 20 pixels. So 8 pixels and 20 pixels. Okay. And finally, let's add some border radius to our button. I'm going to set that to 8 pixels. Now let's style the hover state of our button. So let's use the same syntax. Access the button and add colon hover. Okay, so we want to change the background color only, okay, to a transparent color. So we're going to keep the same color, but we're just going to make it transparent. So rather than RGB, we're going to use RGBA, and we're going to add the transparency factor at the end. I'm going to go for 0.5. Okay, and that's working. All right.